6:37 on the Morning Majority. Brian Neiman, Mary Walter in this morning. Pleased to be joined now by Lieutenant General Tom McINERNEY, retired Air Force, Fox News Channel military analyst. General, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Brian. How are you today?
Well, we talked about this last hour, and I will say it off the record, I'm not a big fan of what's happening in Libya right now, but I want to get your take. What do you think is the mission there, and what is the goal of our military action?
Well, first of all, Brian, we've been snookered.
Really? Okay.
I do not know. It's a no-fly zone. We did that for 10 years in Iraq. And we can do this. And we can take down Gaddafi's forces if we wanted to in 5 days. The fact is we're in Iraq 8 years now. We're in Afghanistan coming up on 10 years now. Haven't we learned that no matter what we try in a Muslim country, that Islamic nations, Islam has a different ideology than democracies, democratic republics. In other words, they don't believe in equality between, that all men are created equal.
Right.
They do not believe in freedom of religion. So when we try to put, quote, our version of democracy in, which doesn't work out, so here's what we're going to do. We're not the lead in this, they say. Well, the African Command commander, General Carter Ham, is the Joint Force Commander, and he's got a Navy Admiral, Sam Locklear, in the 6th Fleet that is the on-scene Joint Force Commander. Now, who are we going to turn this over to? England or France? They could last about 1 week on sustainability on this. The Brits have just cut their military more. The French never had that much. And so we fire 125 missiles approximately, 124, whatever it is, and 123 of them, or 122 of them, are U.S. missiles.
So then why are we doing this? Why did this administration make this step, especially an administration that ran on essentially saying that Iraq was the wrong decision?
I do not have a clue, and I don't think they do. I think the French really, and Brits snookered us into it. The Arab League, Senator Reid was talking about the Arab League representation. He's talking about the Qataris.
Mm-hmm.
Where is Egypt and Saudi Arabia? They have the punch. Qatar is going to furnish 6 aircraft. Please. Denmark is going to furnish 6 airplanes.
Right.
The Italians are going to furnish 6 airplanes. Please.
It's us.
Yeah.
What have we gotten ourselves into?
General, with the Arab League, a lot of people are using that and their endorsement of this to justify Obama saying we're going in and we're going to do this. But less than 24 hours later, the Arab League threw us under the bus and said, but we didn't know you were going to kill people, as if this was some kind of shock to them. I personally think that it's not a surprise that the Arab League threw us under the bus at all, because no matter what happens, America's going to be wrong.
Absolutely, Mary. Look, the strongest people pushing for us to go in are going to be the first ones to throw us under the bus. And heck, we hadn't even gotten through the first day, and
Right.
the Arab League says, oh, as you said, oh, you kill people. And so all of a sudden, they're backing away. As I said, their strongest member to date is Qatar, and 99.9% of the people listening to this radio show don't know where Qatar is, let alone how to pronounce it.
Right.
And so the Arab League is supporting us, and Hillary's on television, and the fact is President Obama makes a decisive decision. He goes to Brazil and doesn't want to get anything on it. Secretary Gates goes to Russia, and you wonder, what has happened here? And look, we all know the military can do this. There's no question about that. It's what happens after.
Is there such a thing as a Muslim version of democracy, though, that we could see go in place? Maybe not our version of democracy, but something that would work in a Muslim country?
Well, I'm not happy where we are in Iraq. Maliki is not the best leader. I'm not happy where we are in Afghanistan. Yeah, they like us over there as long as we put billions of dollars in there. They've never seen so much money in their whole life. And so, I supported those two ventures. I do not support this, as you can gather, because we do not have objectives. The objectives were what? humanitarian, and to create an air defense zone. Well, we overkilled on the air defense zone, I mean, we're bombing everything in the world over there, and we are bombing it, and the Arab world and the rest of the world is saying, oh, look what you Americans did, and how can we sustain this? The Secretary of Defense, or clearly the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, couldn't tell us yesterday on who is going to take this operation over from us. Mm-hmm. Well, nobody can do that. This is not a NATO, and NATO doesn't want to get their hands involved with it. Germans don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
So you have a coalition of the willing.
Right.
The United States, the French, the Brits, and Qatar, and Denmark.
And Italy.
Admiral Mullen said something, as the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs says something that I just don't get. He said the mission could end and Gaddafi could still stay in power.
Right.
If that happens, what changes? Does anything change?
Nothing changes, and that's the problem. And none of us like Gaddafi. I'm not trying to defend Gaddafi. I'm just trying to say another $100 to $300 million a week for a no-fly zone. That doesn't count the $500 million probably in missiles and fuel and all those things that we spent to get here 3 days later. And like we don't have enough money going into Iraq and
right.
Afghanistan. And the Secretary of Defense is trying to get billions out of the defense budget. We've worn all our equipment out with 10 years of combat, and our most capable airplane that we could have put over there without doing this is the F-22. Nowhere to be found because the President, Secretary of Defense countered it. Well, they can't shoot the F-22 down. You've got Global Hawks, which are flying over there, the latest unmanned aerial vehicle, and it's doing a good job. It's at 60,000 feet. They can't shoot that down. So I'm just trying to figure out, after this is all done, and a week from now, if you and I are talking next Monday, mm-hmm. we're going to say, well, we haven't found the leadership that's taking this over, so in the meantime, the Americans are going to take it over. And by the way, we had to put some boots on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because we haven't figured out who the rebels are. They may be worse than Gaddafi, if that's possible.
You know the devil you have, you don't know the devil you're going to get.
General, great to have your expertise. We really appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Lieutenant General Tom McINERNEY, retired Air Force Fox News military analyst. Snookered was his word. All right, off the get.
It's scary.